Hello, Boris Praversham here. Welcome back to the Nidd Whitelist server. I've had a week off from work, so I have played a fair amount, but I didn't record it all because I'm an idiot. So I'm going to quickly take you through what I've done, but later in this episode we're going to actually build something together rather than just me show you what I've done off camera. I'll get to that little project later. The first thing you might notice is that it's not all orange. I have painted it. I'm not entirely sure if I am happy with it. I just picked 5 colours in a colour palette, as I normally do, and spread them out across the station. It looks better than that orange, but I'm not sure yet. Now, up the top we have the 2 lines in, so these are both for deliveries now, not one in and one out. Instead, the out ones, there's one over there that Almond is connected to. I've got 3 down the bottom. I've got some random oxygen farms. Not entirely sure why, they're just here. This bottom one in the middle I'm probably going to be using for myself. Another one there and another one over here. Almond's taking up this one too with his slightly damaged ship. Last I heard he was going to be kitting out the inside of that in order to be able to fit one of these in, which it looks like he might already have. You can see the merge block and the connectors there, so he should be able to slot, well, at least one into here, so that's interesting. Then, round down on each of these sides, we've got little landing pads. This is heavy armor on the bottom there, so you can fly your ship in amongst all the scaffolding, land on the pad, and in through this, or the main entrance. Sorry about all the rubber banding. This is what it's like to live in Australia. Or there's another entrance here. It's all airtight. There's oxygen inside. I'm having a bit of trouble getting through doors. It's this game is not fun to navigate in multiplayer. Right, this is the control room. All white. Desks to sit around on. We've got this. I'm thinking that I'm going to do a blueprint of this entire station and put it here so you can see the whole thing up close. But well, I tried to do that. However, Almond's ship over there is the biggest grid through, like, so there's oh geez, yeah, so there's the station, and then there is other ship there. So if I blueprint this, the only thing shows is his, so I'll wait until everyone's disconnected. I've got I don't know, I might put some scripts with actual useful information on there. I've got a to-do list because Sal likes having a little to-do list of things to go collect. I'm just saying Sal because she is the traditional miner of the group, but I'm actually thinking of building a mining ship and going out on my own for once. I'll be self-sufficient. There's another control panel. Oh, this station, at some point we might add some thrusters and gyros on it, and this will turn into a movable ship. So this will be the place that you control it from, right there. You can see out there we've got a whole bunch of buttons for different things. That's something that we will get to in the episodes to come, filling a few of these in. I probably am not going to fill all 12. I think I'm going to fill 3. This one at the moment just turns the lights on and off just to show what a button does in case you haven't seen it before. I'll put this on just to show that there is oxygen. You can see down the bottom. Down here, I do like that. I'm not that impressed by how this all looks, but I do like how nice and open it is. See all the workings. See everything outside. Right, it's going to look like I don't know how to move in this game, but with the lag and the rubber banding, it means that if I'm walking full speed down these stairs, about here is when I need to start turning that way, if it is to look like I know how to walk downstairs. Because if I start turning at the normal point, then I'll end up in here. It's quite frustrating. So I'm going to go down, and I'm going to turn to the right now, and then I get to go downstairs. This is just a little passageway in between, so that goes out to the landing pad over there, and same on the other side. You've got up in through that yellow door. The door's not supposed to be yellow, nor are those things at the top. I will recolor that later. So that goes out there, and And that in there is supposed to be a colour too. I've got some little lockers to put some things in, over there, mostly just for show, to fill in the space. And then down here, some nice plants. This looks like a mess. This is Sal's office. And I used the term office incorrectly. It's more like living quarters. And she can have a whole bunch of friends round too. It doesn't look that great because these things have to be up the front here. The med bay, the whatever that thing is called, was a cryo chamber. And I've got, even though I've got the oxygen and that outside, I still want a way to be able to do it in the station, because I think I'm going to end up disconnecting the yellow one over there. So the red's the battery, the blue's hydrogen, the yellow's oxygen. I'm probably going to disconnect that at some point, and I still want there to be oxygen in the station. It just won't be, there just won't be as much storage. In here is a bit of a mess hall, a place to eat, maybe have some informal meetings. Got a kitchen over here, some planters. You can stand over here and look at the Earth. You can stand over there and look at the moon. Or you can look at Mars over here. Got the full range of views. Also, if you look up, you can see the god-awful skybox that's still in this game that I don't like. I forgot that we were supposed to change that. I tried to get everyone to change it, but we never actually did. I much prefer just a straight black sky with some stars. You know, like what you would see in space if you went into space. You know, every time I've seen pictures from space, it's not a green smudge. I don't want a green smudge all over my screen that isn't even in high definition. I'm playing on a 2K monitor. It's not even 4K, it's just 2K, and it just looks like a pixelated mess, as it probably does on your end, because I'm recording this in 1080 because my computer's not powerful enough. Anyway, that none of that's important. We've got a couple of couches here, so you can have a little seat. A couple of couches for 2 people, because you really need to spread out on these couches. No one else can sit down. There's a planter there, and then we've got a nice little bed. This is where Sal sleeps, out in the open, in the bright, you know, not far from the refineries, where we can hear the clunking in the background. Over here is Apple's office, if we can get through the small gaps. That's fully featured and includes all the trimmings of the modern 21st century office. Got a button panel here, so again, the lights go off. It's a bit bright in here. I didn't really think about how Sal was going to sleep if the sun was right out here. I guess you can have naps of about an hour at a time. I'll go turn these lights back on. And then I've got a little door, you know, because the cryopod there is where I log off. And I got a little door just out the side here. We were talking about making some proper airlocks. We might get to that soon. Like, as a group, we were talking about it, coming up with some silly ideas for how to do it. And then I've got these 3 spare bays. They are spare intentionally. Things are going to come in and out. So that leads me to the second part of this episode. I have... Where is my little scout ship? Who's used my scout ship? It's not over there. It's not over there. Please excuse me for a moment while I track down my stolen vehicle. I flew right past this before when I was showing off the fact that Almond, he could maybe fit one of the little cargo containers, the dumpsters, into here. Well, not only that, he's built one and done it. It was right next to me the entire time. He used my little scout ship, the duck thing. I forget what the name is. And it all fits nicely. I think that's good. This brings me on to what I'm going to be doing today, which is testing out autopilot. I am going to put a little remote control block on this, probably put a few more thrusters on it, and I'm just going to get to grips with how autopilot works in this game. I do have a bit of experience with it. I've used it, and if you've been watching my videos for a while, you would have seen it in previous seasons, and I've used it on my own as well. But it's been a long time. I've had a 2-year break from Space Engineers, so I'm going to just get to grips with all the basics of how autopilot works in this game now, because it didn't fully work the last time I used it. There were a lot of little bugs that were problematic, especially on a planet. And I am hoping this episode to get this scout ship down to the Equinox down there, Almond's building yard, and back without me having to be in control of it. I wanted to all do it on its own, with the end goal building a ship probably about the same size as this, although not of the same function, for transporting these dumpsters in probably much the same way, maybe a little more accessible. And I want to be able to run it down to that base down there and back without me having to do anything. So I think the first thing to do is I'm going to convert this to be a remote controlled ship, and I'm going to just, how about, I'll start here out of the way. I'll take a GPS location and we'll call that test 1, and then maybe go over here. This will be test 2, and I'm going to run that on a loop between those two, just as a proof of concept to start with. Why is this overlay still a part of the camera thing? Why is it just not a nice clear view? I think we're going to have to put a clear camera mod on this as well, because that's ridiculous. So we go on now. It's not doing collision avoidance, so we'll get out of its way. Right, it's there. To there, and now it spins around. Why is it dead? It's just dead. What's going on now? Let's get you away from that waypoint. That looked a little bit buggy. Let's put you over there. See what happens. Now it's just stuck doing this. What's it doing? This doesn't seem right. You have one job now. Your one job is to fly to there. Can you do that, please? Why are you broken? Okay, I just had to tap it. Give it a little tap. You got to slap it so that it, it's like a taxi. You just kind of tap it on the roof and then it knows what it's got to do. Alright, so that's a proof of concept. The next thing that I'm going to do, while it sits there doing nothing, what you doing? You gonna do the thing? Either this is buggy, or I'm not understanding something simple. It's just sitting there flickering between two waypoints. This can't be normal behavior. What are you doing? Again, I had to go near it and then it was off. Right, now it should go over to there. Now it should turn around and go back. It's not finishing the little loop. It's sat over here again, doing God knows what. Whoa! Yay for rubber banding. What a beautifully well-performing game. Oh, I'm over here now. I'm just going to pretend that all of that was fine. And we'll reset it. It was working fine until I started fiddling with things. We only wanted to go one way anyway. All that nonsense aside, I've now put a few more thrusters on this ship just to be doubly sure, because I am going to fly down to the Equinox down there, see if, firstly, that this ship can make it, which I'm sure that it will, but also to place a GPS location while I'm down there. I'm hoping that I'll catch Almond online soon and we'll actually have a look at this properly. Alright, I will set, I think, a GPS location. Maybe in the sun. just to give these solar panels a little bit of an extra chance. Up a little bit away from the ground. And I will set a GPS location here. Add that one. We'll go one way. Now, hopefully, what this means is that when I click this on, we will start going up, which we do. I am going to send it back down as well, because I want to double check how the ship handles gravity. If I'm going to have to bolster the downward facing thrusters to make sure that the extra weight of all those dumpsters is going to be kept afloat, shall we say. Alright, so we've left gravity and now we've switched to the backward facing thrusters, which is good. That's what I wanted. It's perfect. Of course it's perfect, it's a computer. Right, so when it's one way, it turns the autopilot off automatically when you get to your destination. That's good. And then there's also this setup actions, which, if I remember correctly, when it gets to that waypoint, perform that thing. So I am going to remove that. I'm just going to just double check that everything's working. We're going to go down to the planet, and then when we get there, we are going to turn the spotlights on, or we'll toggle them. So here we go. Autopilot on. We do. Perfect. So that's going to let me put plenty of downward thrust so that we can carry a large amount of weight down to here. And the spotlights are on. There we go. That's good. On the way back up now, we'll go collision avoidance and precision mode on and see how that affects the speed. So I see we're hovering at around 85 meters a second, and now we're dropping significantly, even though we're not that close. So I think the best method, if I were to try and dock this ship, would be to turn off the precision mode and send it to a kind of forward GPS location. So it will make it to a position like this that is just off the station. And then, when it gets here, I'll set up an action that will turn it to precision mode and then get it to connect to the station. That's going to be my next little goal. So that means I've got to get the GPS location of where the remote control block is right now, I think. Because what I want to do is mark a location of where I am right now so that I can get the ship to pull up here and then automatically connect. It'll be a little bit high, but I hope that the connector strength will pull it down a little bit. And I'm going to pull directly back and then mark this location. Right, the plan is I send it down to number 4. It turns around, comes back to number 5 where I am right now, and then it switches to precision mode, and then very precisely moves forward to the dock up ahead, and then connect that front connector. Precision mode is off. I think everything's set up, and here we go. Oh no, 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 oh, what's happening? What's happening? Why did we go? What are we doing? What are we doing? Ooh, we're wobbling around a lot. I think the collision avoidance is confused. Oh, that really scared me. I thought we were about to smack into things. Are we headed to the dock there? Okay, what might have happened then is because I was already sitting on one of them, it's decided to skip directly to that waypoint. And then when it got to the dock section, the collision avoidance didn't like the fact that I was going to get so close. So it backed me in over to here without the possibility of the connector hitting there. So I think when I get to this point, I'm also going to have to turn off the collision avoidance. Okay, let's get away from this. Autopilot on. Why are we skipping? Why are we skipping number 4? Well, I guess we'll see. So we've made it to 5 and done nothing. I have control again. What are you doing? I thought this would be easy. So collision avoidance has come off and precision mode is on, which is what I wanted to happen here, but why are you not going down to the planet first? Collision avoidance on, precision on, autopilot. Let's go. Is it because we were just close? We were close to number 5, so we skipped number 4 altogether? That would seem very counterintuitive. I wonder what I did wrong there. So we hit that one. Now we're headed back up. Okay, we've hit that. Now we've got to spin around. The lights are on, so we're in precision mode. Then we're going to slowly do fuck all. Still says that autopilot is enabled, and I don't have control of the ship. So I wonder what the remote control block is doing right now. It's just flickering between all of the... this has to be a bug, right? That can't be normal behavior. I thought coming into this season that things like this would be relatively non-existent. I thought some bugs would be fine, but there are a lot of just core components of the game that through the previous seasons I've just not been able to use. I've been wanting to do this whole automated delivery system between stations every single season, and I've not been able to do it because of little things like that. I was really hoping it would be fixed by now. I'm not going to give up on it. I'm just hoping this is a one-off little situation, but the fact that I can't get through the proof of concept is a little frustrating. We're going to do the same as before. Just get rid of it, put a new one down, and I'm going to test the last little bit on its own. I've got it set just to move forward to that dock testing point, and when it gets there I'm going to lock the connector. It's all it's got to do. Gently move forward. Please, gently move forward. Let's get away from that coordinate and try again. I've spotted another problem, which is that the remote control block is not central behind the connector, which means that it's not going to always line up. I'm going to fix that now. I set up the GPS location right in front of it now, and you can see down there behind the connector at the front is the remote control block. It's nice and center behind it, so I'm going to have to take that into consideration when I build my actual delivery truck. And now I will send it off. It has the collision off, so it could just go barreling into the station. Let's hope not. The precision mode on, so it should be nice and slow if it does. And it goes straight there and locks the connector. Okay, we're coming up on it. Nice and slow. Forward a little bit, please. It's not close enough. I've moved it a fraction closer, but now I'm a little bit worried that it's slightly too close. So let's hope we don't get a lot of explosions. All the same as before. Here we go. Nothing happens. Why is nothing happening? When I tell it to autopilot now, it just immediately comes up with that. I think it's the same bug. We'll start again. Okay, yet another test. Here we go. Where are we going? What is this? We're just pointing the wrong way. We aren't there. That's a long way away. Go do it. Try again. We just point away and do nothing. I think that until all of this stuff actually... Whoa! I hope Almond doesn't watch this episode. I'm just going to go back in here nice and slowly. I think until these little issues are resolved, I think maybe we should just use autopilot one way, and then I'll dock it manually when it gets here. It's going to be a big pain. The end goal from this proof of concept was supposed to be that I press one of the buttons in the control room and watch my little scout ship fly down to the moon, come back, and then dock itself underneath, all while I stood in there. That was going to be the proof of concept that I could build a much larger ship, kind of similar to that size, put in one of those dumpsters and do the same thing. So I could send it down to the moon, it could dock on its own so that I wouldn't have to worry about it running out of energy or doing anything like that. It would just merge itself to the station down there, and then when I wanted to, connect to the station down there, hit another button, and it would come back and then dock down the bottom down here. And then, and this was my even more far-fetched thought, I was thinking, in all my excitement, well, I could program a little tug ship, a little tugboat that could automatically pull these dumpsters out and then bring them down here and put them in the delivery ship. That was a stretch goal, as they might say, but I was hoping I could do all of this from a couple of buttons, but it looks like Space Engineers still is in a state of needing to do things manually. Although I will reserve judgment just for the moment, because it's very likely I'll put this video out and then someone will call me an idiot, or by the time I put the video out I'll have worked it out, in which case all of this was for nothing. But I think the way that everything was flickering in that menu and the way things just weren't, they didn't look the way that they used to, suggests that that was all a bug. Right, well that was an unsuccessful episode. That was supposed to be a lot shorter, but instead I've just taken my frustration and put it on YouTube for you to be frustrated. Have fun with that. Now this seems unlikely, but if you do choose to, I will see you again next week. Goodbye.